take you to a perspective where you can see the plant cell up close. This is my three-dimensional plant cell made of spare materials that I have at home. To have a strong but flexible base and outer part of the plant cell, I thought about the covers of those binder folders and wrapped them around a rectangular-shaped styrofoam to form the cell wall and cell membrane. For the cytoplasm, I couldn't really put a fluid-like substance to make it seem realistic because that would complicate things, so I decided to use colored paper and covered the inside of the styrofoam base. I made the hardest first, which is the nucleus. I couldn't find any balloon at home, so I crumpled used papers into a ball and secured it with tape before I formed the nucleus out of paper mache soaked in glue and left it out to dry. For the organelles, I had to improvise because I have limited resources, so I cut out spare styrofoams into little pieces, oval-shaped and round-shaped ones. For the oval-shaped ones, I made mitochondria and chloroplast out of it, but they differ in size. For round-shaped ones, I made ribosomes and peroxisome out of it. I was satisfied with how their shapes turned out, so I moved on to the painting part because it would take too long for them to dry. I painted mitochondria red and yellow, green for chloroplast, dark blue for ribosomes, and yellow for peroxisome. I also made the vesicles orange. I used colored papers to make the endoplasmic reticulum, ameloplast, and Golgi body by folding them and rolling them. Finally, when my nucleus dried up, I painted it orange and red for the nucleolus. And there you have it, my three-dimensional plant cell. So now I'll explain to you the functions of these parts. The cell wall provides stronger structure and protection against outside stress. The cell membrane keeps toxic substances out of the cell, helps mediate cellular activities to pass between organelles, the cell, and the outside environment. The cytoplasm, this is where organelles are located, inside the jelly-like substance that protects the genetic material of the cell and the organelles functions to carry on. The nucleus controls and regulates the activities of the cell and carries the genes, structures that contain the hereditary information. The nucleolus' main function is ribosomal RNA synthesis and ribosome biogenesis. Ribosomes make proteins. We have our endoplasmic reticulum into two types, the smooth ER, which functions in many metabolic processes. It synthesizes lipids, phospholipids as in plasma membranes, and steroids, while rough ER has ribosomes on it and that plays a central role in the synthesis of proteins. Chloroplasts are plant cell organelles that convert light energy into relatively stable chemical energy via the photosynthetic process. Mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell that generate most of the chemical energy needed to power the cell's biochemical reactions. Vesicles store and transport materials with the cell. Some of these materials are transported to other organelles. Peroxisomes play important roles in metabolism, reactive oxygen species detoxification, and signaling. The Golgi complex functions as a factory in which proteins received from the ER are further processed and sorted for transport to their eventual destinations. Ameloplast is responsible for the storage of starch granules. And lastly, we have the vacuole. The main vacuole function is to store substances, typically either waste or harmful substances, or useful substances the cell will need later on. This organelle functions as a combination of reservoir, waste dump, storage region, and even as a means of keeping the cell in shape. That's about everything. I hope I explained my work clearly. Thank you.